Hello everyone, let's start with the third question of the TLE CP sheet, which is of 800 rated. Let me read the question for you. The question basically says is, you are given some cells, right? Some of are blocked and some are empty. You have to empty all cells to have water in them. So you have two operations. The first one is place water in any empty cell, and in the second operation you can remove water from a cell and place it in any other empty cell, right? And the important point to note here is, if some at moment cell I is empty and both cell I minus 1 and I plus 1 contains water, then the ith cell will be automatically filled with water. So it basically says is, if you have cells like I plus 1 and I plus 2, and you have water in I plus 2 and I, then I plus 1 will be automatically get filled with water, right? So you have to find minimum number of times we need to perform the action 1 in order to fill all the empty cells with water, right? Here important point to note is, you don't need to minimize the use of action 2. Means the operation which I have shown here, you can perform this any number of times, but you have to minimize the number of operations of the kind 1, right? So let's check with an example. Suppose this is an example, and the first cell here is blocked, right? And the second one is also blocked, and the third one is empty, right? Fourth one and fifth, sixth, this all are empty, and the seventh one is again blocked. So in the first case we'll put water in the third cell, right? And then we'll not put water in the fourth cell, because in the question stated that if you have water in I and I plus 2, then I plus 1 will automatically get filled with water, right? So we will put water in this fourth cell after the third cell in order to get filled the fourth one, right? In this way we can minimize the operation number 1. In the same way, if we again fill water in the sixth cell, that means we will take water from fourth and sixth, then again we will put the water in the fifth cell, right? So in this way the first operation will be minimized, and we don't need to minimize the second one as stated in the question, right? So let's take another example. If you have cells like this, suppose there are 7 cells, right? 1 2 3 4 5 and 6, and the 7th one, and the first one is empty, second one is empty, third one is blocked, fourth one empty, fifth one is blocked, and the sixth and seventh one are also empty. So here we cannot find the pattern like I plus 1 and I plus 2, right? Where the 3 consecutive cells are empty. So here simply we will do what? We will count the dot in the string, right? So the dots in the string will be our answer, as these dots are representing the empty cells. So we have to put water in all the empty cells in case of this type of configurations. And if this type of configuration means I plus 1 and I plus 2 all are empty, then we can simply return 2, as we can replace water from a cell and put in the second cell. And if we have water in the previous one, then this cell from where we have put out the water will automatically get filled by water, right? So this was the logic of the question. So the logic basically says is, if we have the pattern, then simply return 2, and in other cases simply return the dot counts, right? So we'll take a variable dot count and we will simply return it. So that was the logic. Let's code the question, right? So we'll start with the basic template of the C++ code, and at first we will take input, right? Input of the test cases. Now in the while loop we will do our operations. First of all, we will take an integer n representing the size of the string, and then we will take a string and its input. Now we will take another variable, the dot count, which will keep track the number of dots in the string, right? So now traverse the string starting from 0 to n. So at first, if we encounter any dots, then we'll simply return what? Then we'll simply increase the dot count by 1. Means dot count plus plus, right? And if the stri is dot, means the pattern stri plus 1 is dot, and stri plus 2 is also dot. And here is the edge case here. If you are checking I plus 1 and I plus 2, so the ith value should be less than n minus 2, right? If you do not do it, then it will show runtime error. So now here will be and if this pattern occurs, then we will increase the dot count. We will initialize the dot count with 2 and simply break out of the loop, right? And at last we will print the value of dot count. So that was the code. Let's check it in the Codeforces. So let's run it. Take the inputs from Codeforces. And it is giving out the output as 22502, and the real output is 22502. So with this we have completed 3 questions of our TLE CP sheet. Let's meet you in the next video. Bye.